Tsunami Studios. Guess what? We're back with another casting video. It's been a while, but we're back. And in honor of, I don't know what in honor of. Let's just say it's in honor of something. I decided to do a Canadian one. That's right. We are going to be casting the Alpha Flight for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, as a Canadian-born boy who's still living in Canada, I love Alpha Flight. I think they are a great team, underutilized a lot, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with them. Now, I wanted to talk about these people for a while. I couldn't figure out the right time to do it, so I just said, screw it, let's do it now and talk about it. Here's my stipulation for this episode. Every single actor I cast for the Alpha Flight is a Canadian actor or actress, just because it's Canada. I'm going to support my people, you know? That's just who I am. When I was younger, I've been very like, oh, it's just Canada, it's not that big. But Canada's pretty cool, actually. I've come around a lot of Canada. Such a weird thing to say as a Canadian. You're like, I like America, but now I'm like, I think Canada is really good in handling a lot of situations better than some other places. But no, it's cool. Alpha Flight, you guys read some of their books. Just go back and find some. They did a one-shot last year, I think around October maybe of last year, maybe even later than that or before that, called True North. Just gives you a feel of these characters, and they're really fun characters. So let's talk about Alpha Flight, and let's cast them for the MCU. Now, I got 9 choices here. There's kind of like a rotating cast sometimes when it comes to the Alpha Flight, but I did this in mind with the idea of a narrative, because there's some characters who I'm like, these people will already be established as heroes in the universe when we do this movie, and there's some in here that would be like, oh, they're just starting out. And I think that's a really important thing. You kind of need that sometimes, just to have, oh, here's the ones that exist, here's the ones that are starting out, because then you got a point of view character. So we'll start with the ones that already exist in the universe. To me, those are a few characters. We will start with Guardian, who's obviously, he's the main guy. Everyone knows who Guardian is. He's the main member of Alpha Flight. If you don't know him, you probably don't know anybody in Alpha Flight except maybe Sasquatch. And I love him. I've always been a fan of Guardian. I think he's got a cool costume, a cool idea of a character. And so when casting him, I was thinking, who is a prominent Canadian actor that a lot of people know and could definitely lead a franchise? So I went with somebody who's done it before. Now, out of everybody I've cast for the Alpha Flight, this one I think is my most controversial, and the one that I don't think a lot of people might agree with, but I did it anyways. I went with Stephen Amell. Now, I have some issues when it comes to Stephen Amell's acting prowess. We've seen certain things with him in franchise stuff that I don't think is great. And I think more than anything that comes down to direction and writing. I think Stephen Amell has the talent. He's somebody that can lead a team. We've seen him do it before, and he's somebody that would definitely be willing to step up to be the face of a Canadian superhero team. I think he's a talent. He's got the right build. He's got the right look. I'd love to see him in another project like this. I liked his Oliver Queen. I'd love to see his Guardian. And of course, when you got Guardian, you have to have the lady one, and that's Vindicator. And I know there's sometimes one of them leads the team. I'm going to put them both in here as established characters. Now, you could do this one of two ways, where Vindicator exists later, and of course, you know, she is always a character that exists, but she doesn't become Vindicator till later in the movie or in the franchise. But I'm like, let's have Guardian and Vindicator be like these agents for the Canadian government. You know, that's what I think. So my choice for Vindicator was Katherine Winik. Now, she is one of the leads on Vikings, and that's not a show I've seen. But if you can do Vikings, it's not hard to step over here and do something in this direction. You know, you're going a little more gritty for Vikings. You come on over here, you put on some spandex, you get some cool goggles, you're going to be a Captain Marvel-esque character for the Canadian ladies. Perfect. You already fit right in. I think she looks the part. She's got the right prowess, the right chops. She understands franchise and genre pictures. So I think it's perfect. I love that a lot. I just think having Stephen Amell and Katherine Winik, characters and actors, I should say, that people know. Like, you could point them out in line, you'd be like, oh, that's Katherine, oh, that's Stephen. You know them, they're the ones leading your team, that's going to be your draw in here. I think that's really cool, really important. There are good ways to lead this. And another one who I'd say already exists. Now, this character has some history connected to Hulk. I wouldn't have that history. You could make them be a Gamma character, but connected to Hulk, I don't think you need to do. That, of course, is Sasquatch, and I went with Daniel Cudmore. If you guys don't know, he played Colossus in some of the old Fox X-Men movies. The guy's big, the guy's bulky, and he could definitely lead his own. He seems like the kind of guy who could play smart while still playing kind of jockey, and I think that's really cool, really important for that character. And come on, let's just give him more work. Like, he kind of got burned when he was Colossus. They didn't let him do a lot. So let's put him in here, make him some guy who can turn into a giant Sasquatch. I think that's a cool angle, something a lot of people might expect. And it could be really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, these are all Canadian actors. As far as I know, maybe Wikipedia or IMDb lied to me. But as far as I could tell, these are all Canadian actors, and I think that was really important. And talk about one of the most important characters in this movie, in my opinion, that is Shaman. I think he is one of the coolest characters Marvel has never used. Has he appeared in Strange Academy? I think he might have appeared in Strange Academy. But here's my thing with Shaman. You start off with him and then you lead to him training Talisman. I didn't cast Talisman for this movie. So my version of Shaman is Adam Beach. And you guys know Adam Beach. He's been in a couple other those pictures. Really underrated actor who hasn't really had a chance to shine in a big picture like this. We almost had it in one thing. You guys can look that up. And I really want to see him have a role like this. A prominent man of his nature could definitely be a draw to a lot of people. We get some representation for a side of superheroes we haven't really seen before, the native side of things. I think that could be a really cool way to throw that in there. Show people that these guys are badass. These people are important. They're prominent in Canada. We should feature them heavily here. Adam Beach is a fantastic actor. It's a great way to do it. I know I should have cast Talisman, but I didn't cast Talisman. I'm sorry. So we'll have to stick with Shaman. We'll say Alpha Flight 2, Cruise Control will be where we introduce Talisman. And of course, when you have Guardian and Sasquatch, everyone always thinks of this guy when it comes to being another prominent member of Alpha Flight. And that is Puck. Now, Puck to me was the hardest one to cast just because it's weird. I wanted to cast the right person for the role. I didn't know how that would be. And I think I did okay. Like, the problem with Puck to me was his stature is just so hard to make realistic for a guy of his height with his, like, big muscles, like his thick, huge arms and legs. Like, that's not very realistic. So I was like, do we want a CG Puck? I don't think so. I think you get the right actor for the right job, and I think I picked the right guy. I picked Jordan Prentice. He is an actor who was in shows like In Bruges. He was in the American Pie movie. And I just found this out too, looking at his IMDb. He was in Howard the Duck. So talk about coming full circle to play an actual good superhero in a good superhero movie. He's a great actor. He can look mean, he can look tough. I think that's really important. He could definitely be somebody that a lot of people would be like, that's the standout character. That's like a standout role for this guy. And I think that could be really fun. And he's Canadian, so I was like, hell yeah, we're definitely putting Jordan in here. I think it'd be really cool. Puck is a very cool character, one a lot of people enjoy. So I wanted to find that right balance of like someone who's kind of funny, kind of tough, could definitely be angry all the time while still maintaining that right charisma. And come on, just going from Howard the Duck to an actual good superhero, that's gotta be cool, right? That's gotta be cool. So those are the members of Alpha Flight I have as already established characters in this universe. Now, of course, we got a couple more here who I think are very important too. And these characters, two in particular, would be my point of view characters, the ones we start off meeting, and they're kind of the ones that lead us into this movie. So we'll start with them. That would be Aurora and Northstar. We'll start with Aurora, and I have Nina Dobrev, who I've casted before in other things years ago. I'm amazed nobody's scooped her up for a big thing like this yet. She's not the most well-known actress, but she's also a very talented young woman. She can definitely find a way to make this work. She's got the right look, the right build. Aurora is a great role for somebody who wants to like play opposite a character like Northstar. You can do some really cool, interesting dynamics there. So I was like, let's give Nina the right thing she deserves. You know, playing a woman of this stature, of this power, that could be a really fun role. And she's somebody I just want to see in more stuff. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to put Aurora in there. Of course we are. And Nina's going to get that. And here's the casting. The casting for Northstar is like literally the reason I wanted to do this video. Dan Levy as North Star. You get a prominent gay superhero, maybe the first openly gay superhero in the Marvel Comics universe ever. The first to get married, at least. That's a big frickin' deal. And you get Canada's sweetheart Dan Levy to play him. He's got the right attitude. We've seen his acting chops on Schitt's Creek. He could be sarcastic. You could take it to a little more different angles than we've seen with North Star in the comics. But I just think, please, for the love of God, get Dan Levy in one of these movies. I think he'd be phenomenal. He's your point of view character where he realizes he has these powers. Maybe he's a mutant. I think they've established he's a mutant in the comics. So then he's like, how do I fit in this world? And he's like, I don't really want to go talk to the X-Men. I want to go talk to my Canadian brethren. And his sister comes with him. She realizes she has powers, and that's where they meet Alpha Flight with Guardian, Vindicator, Sasquatch, and Puck. And that's how you introduce those characters. And Shaman, too. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention him. That's how you introduce those people. Dan Levy, Canada's sweetheart, man. Get him as North Star. Please. I think it'd be great. And of course, we got Snowbird, who I've said this. I literally, when I was doing the editing for this, I'm like, that is such a good costume. I think that might be one of my favorite superhero costumes for Snowbird. I love the way she looks. It's great. I chose Tara Scobie. Now, I don't know a lot of her work. She was in Riverdale for a little bit as Polly Cooper. Now, I'm amazed I cast somebody from Riverdale for anything. But hey, she's got the right look. She's proven herself to do like these interesting kind of roles. She definitely seems like she'd be open to it. She's got everything that checks off my boxes. I don't imagine Snowbird would be like a prominent character. Definitely more of a side one who maybe joins the team later. And she's just a really cool member, really cool person to throw in there. Could definitely be your Scarlet Witch type character or just somebody like that. I think that could be really fun. So of course I put her in here. And I also put Marlena. Yes, this character is just so fun to me. Something so unique, so different about her. So I just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's add her. I put her instead of Talisman. That might get me some shit, but hey, that's just what I did. You guys don't have to agree with me on everything. I don't want you to. Either way. So I chose Shay Mitchell. Now, she was in Pretty Little Liars. I'm not super sure of anything else she's really done, but she did good in that. I think if you give her a role like this, you could play it up like Mantis kind of for Guardians, be a little outside the box, a little different. Since we are establishing space stuff in the MCU right now, you could have that connection to maybe we know that there was an alien who had relations with an Earth woman or an Earth man, and now we got Marina here in her half human, half alien form, and you can just have fun with that. So yeah, Shay Mitchell, it's fun. Look, Alpha Flight is a great team full of unique characters that highlight a lot of Canada for me. I think that's really cool. They show some of the stuff we like. Look, hockey, Native Canadians, the Sasquatch, the North Star, I guess. Like, just a bunch of, Canadian things. And I think it's really cool. And having all these people be Canadian actors really, I think, just amplified that you could do this kind of a thing. Even if it would be like a TV show on Disney Plus, you could do something with Alpha Flight, and a lot of people would like it. And look, since we've got, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel now all being Canadian actors, it's not far off that an Alpha Flight thing could happen with a bunch of Canadian leads. So those are my picks for Alpha Flight in the MCU. What do you think of them? Please let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.